Jesus touches a man with leprosy. The hand that reached someone others kept at a distance. A man came to Jesus. The Gospels describe him as a man with leprosy. Mark says he knelt before Jesus and begged him. Matthew says he bowed before him. And Luke says the man was covered with leprosy and fell with his face to the ground. The Gospels do not tell us his name, how long he had suffered, or what his family situation was. We do not need to invent those details. What Scripture clearly shows is that he knew he needed help, and he came to Jesus. His request was simple: "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." He did not ask whether Jesus had enough power. He spoke as someone who believed Jesus could make him clean. The question was about willingness. If you are willing. He did not hide what he wanted, but he did not command Jesus either. He placed his need before him and left the response in Jesus' hands. Faith is not the same as forcing a particular result from God. Faith can ask honestly and boldly while still trusting God with the outcome. The word translated as leprosy can refer to a range of serious skin conditions, and should not automatically be treated as identical to modern Hansen's disease. The Gospels are not giving us a modern diagnosis. Under the law of Moses, certain skin conditions required examination by a priest, and cleansing had to be confirmed before normal community life could fully resume. That helps us understand why the man asked not merely to be healed, but to be made clean. Then Jesus did something all three Gospel accounts make sure to mention. He reached out his hand, and he touched the man. Mark says Jesus was moved with compassion. Matthew and Luke also record the touch. Jesus was able to heal without touching someone. Other Gospel stories show that his authority was not limited by distance. So the touch here matters. It was not a magical technique. The power was not in the physical action itself. Jesus did not recoil from the man. He did not treat him as someone beneath his attention. He came near enough to touch him. Then Jesus answered him, "I am willing. Be clean." The man had said, "If you are willing." Jesus replied, "I am willing." The Gospels say he was cleansed immediately. Mark says the leprosy left him and he was cleansed. Matthew says he was cleansed at once. Luke says the leprosy left him. The center of this event is not the strength of the man's personality. It is not a lesson about producing enough confidence to make a miracle happen. The center is Jesus, his authority, his compassion, his willingness in this moment. The man came with need, and Jesus responded. Compassion and authority appear together. Jesus uses his power to restore, not humiliate. We should not turn this healing into a promise that every illness will always be healed immediately. The Gospels record immediate healing here, but Scripture does not teach that every faithful person will receive the same result at the same moment. Faith is not a formula for controlling God, and sickness should not automatically be blamed on a lack of faith. This story also does not tell us to ignore medicine or responsible care. Wisdom and compassion are not enemies. Jesus' touch shows us the dignity of someone whose condition had made him unclean. He was more than a diagnosis, more than a problem, more than a category. We easily reduce people to the hardest thing in their lives, but people are always more than the label attached to them. Jesus did not deny the seriousness of the man's condition, yet he did not allow that condition to erase the man's dignity. The touch of Jesus also reverses the direction we might expect. Under the purity laws, contact with what was unclean could make someone ceremonially unclean. But in this encounter, Jesus is not overcome by the man's uncleanness. The man is made clean. Uncleanness does not spread into Jesus. Cleansing moves toward the man. His holiness is not fragile. His authority is greater than the uncleanness before him. Yet Jesus did not tell the man that the law no longer mattered. After cleansing him, he gave him specific instructions. He told him not to spread the news, but to go and show himself to the priest and offer what Moses commanded. Matthew and Luke record the same direction. Show yourself to the priest. This points back to the law of Moses, where the priest examined someone whose skin condition had changed and confirmed the cleansing process. Jesus therefore sent the man toward a recognized path back into community life. The story is larger than physical healing alone. Restoration can include belonging, relationships, and a return to ordinary community life. The man had been cleansed, but he also had a next step. There is another part of the story we should not overlook. Jesus told the man not to tell anyone. Mark emphasizes this strongly, but the man went out and spoke freely, spreading the report widely. As a result, the attention around Jesus became so great that his public movement was affected, while people continued coming to him from everywhere. It is understandable that someone who had experienced such a dramatic change would want to talk about it. But excitement did not cancel obedience. Jesus had given an instruction. A sincere motive does not automatically make every action right. We sometimes think that if our intention is good, the method does not matter. But this story reminds us that obedience matters even when our enthusiasm feels positive. We should also avoid claiming we know every reason Jesus told him to remain silent. Mark's gospel contains a broader pattern in which Jesus sometimes restricted publicity about his identity and miracles. In this scene, the widespread report also had a practical effect on his movement. The text gives us enough to see that the instruction had purpose. Still, the heart of the story is not what happened afterward. It is the encounter itself. A man comes. He kneels. "If you are willing, you can make me clean." Jesus reaches out. He touches him. "I am willing. Be clean." And the man is cleansed. There is no long performance. Jesus does not ask him to prove that he deserves compassion. The man brings his need, and Jesus responds with mercy and authority. Only after cleansing does Jesus give instructions for what comes next. That order matters. Grace comes before the man can do anything to repay it. Then obedience follows grace. He is not told to complete the ritual first and then perhaps receive cleansing. He is cleansed, and then he is sent to walk the path that confirms his restoration. Grace and obedience belong together, but obedience does not purchase grace. The compassion of Jesus is practical. He acts, and after acting he gives direction. Our compassion can also include listening, practical help, responsible boundaries, and respect for the person's dignity. This story also speaks to anyone who finds it difficult to ask for help. The man came openly. He did not pretend to be fine. He named his need. Many people hide pain because they fear rejection or worry about becoming a burden. But asking for help is not always weakness. Sometimes it is the first honest step toward restoration. The man's words were both confident and surrender. "If you are willing." That phrase can shape our own prayers. We can ask directly for healing, reconciliation, relief, or a changed situation. We do not have to hide what we want from God. But prayer is not a way to place God under our control. We ask while trusting His wisdom. And in this story, Jesus' response reveals His compassion clearly. "I am willing." We should not turn those words into a universal promise that every request for physical healing will receive an immediate yes in the same form. But we should allow them to show us the heart of Jesus in this encounter. He was not disgusted by the man. He was not irritated by his need. He was willing to come near. That matters for anyone carrying shame. The gospel does not tell us exactly what this man felt, so we should not invent it. But the story reminds us that human brokenness does not make compassion impossible and that pain can be brought into the light. And the story challenges those who stand at a comfortable distance from other people's pain. Who do we reduce to a category before seeing them as a person? The example of Jesus does not tell us to abandon wisdom. It tells us to abandon contempt. Necessary boundaries do not require contempt. We can protect safety and still treat another person with dignity. Jesus' holiness did not make him cold. He moved toward the suffering man with authority, and the result was cleansing. The man who approached as unclean left with a path back toward community life. Restoration is often larger than symptom removal. It can include dignity, belonging, responsibility, and a renewed place among others. This story therefore holds several truths together. Jesus has authority over the man's condition. Jesus has compassion for him. Jesus is willing to touch someone considered unclean. Jesus respects the path of communal restoration described in the law, and Jesus expects his word to be obeyed. None of those truths cancels the others. Together they show us mercy that is warm but not careless, powerful but not cruel, and restoring without removing responsibility. This is why the hand that touched the man matters so much. Jesus did not stand far away and treat suffering as an abstract problem. He came near. He brought compassion close to shame and restoration close to exclusion. And the man left changed. We may never face this man's exact circumstances, but we will meet people who feel pushed to the edges, and at times we may feel pushed there ourselves. This story asks us to remember where Jesus directs his attention. Toward the person, not only the label. Toward restoration, not humiliation. Toward truth, not denial. Toward obedience, not uncontrolled excitement. Toward mercy that is strong enough to come close. The story begins with distance. A man marked as unclean approaches Jesus. He says, "If you are willing." Then comes the hand, the touch, the answer, "I am willing. Be clean." And after cleansing comes a path forward. Show yourself to the priest. Offer what Moses commanded. Walk back toward life with responsibility. No one is too reduced to a label for Jesus to see them as a person. No condition is too shameful for us to bring honestly before him. And no experience of grace makes obedience unnecessary. May we today bring our pain and shame to Jesus honestly. Refuse to reduce other people to their illness, failure, or past. Protect dignity even when wise boundaries are necessary. And learn to extend the compassionate nearness that sees a person before seeing a label.